Hello everybody, Maven here, and welcome back to another Destiny 2 video. Today I'm going to show you a build for the Arc Hunter that I believe will be a big part of the meta for Season 18 when they give us Arc 3.0. So this video is based around the Liar's Handshake Exotic Hunter Gauntlets, as well as one other thing that we'll talk about in a little bit. So Liar's Handshake says that using your Arc melee ability or being hit by a melee will allow you to follow up with an extremely powerful melee counterpunch that will heal you. Now this is called Cross Counter. It's a buff that comes up on the left side of your screen. It gives you 3 total seconds to go and use an uncharged melee punch on an ad, and it's going to do 300% extra damage, and it's going to regen about a half total of your health and shields. And now you might be thinking expending an Arc melee ability seems like a difficult task because there's a cooldown, but not on Arc Hunter because we are using Combination Blow. It says that killing an enemy with this melee ability is going to trigger health regeneration already on top of the bump of health that Liar's Handshake's ability gives you, and regeneration is great. We all know how powerful it is on Solar 3.0, so survivability is key. And then it gives you an increasing stack of melee damage up to 3 times. And now one of the main reasons that this is really good to proc Liar's Handshake with is because it has the fastest base cooldown at 15 seconds, the fastest recharging ability in the entire game. At tier 10 strength, it regens in just 5 seconds. I have 6 strength total. I think beyond that it's not worth it because you get diminishing returns, so I think 6 is a sweet spot at 9-second regen. But you don't even need strength requirement at all, and here's why. We are using Combat Flow. This is melee kills recharge your dodge ability, and your dodge ability is going to be Gambler's Dodge. So I think you can see the little chain we're doing here. Get a melee kill, dodge, melee, dodge, melee, dodge. They both recharge each other endlessly. So in reality, you don't even need mobility investment either. I still have 100 though, just because as a hunter it feels right, but in reality you don't really need that either. You can just invest all into resilience, which we all need 10 resilience right now because it's just required in PvE because of the 40% damage resistance. And now the reason I think that Combination Blow and Combat Flow are going to remain in Arc Hunter when 3.0 comes out is because what do you think about when you think about Arc Hunter for PvE? You think about Combination Blow. It is what makes up and embodies Arc Hunter. Just going up, running in there, punching things, dodging around, and when you dodge, you're harder to kill. This is just the essence of Arc Hunter. People would be outraged if they took out Combination Blow. And Combat Flow is definitely going to be put somewhere into an aspect. Bungie is definitely going to give us an aspect for a melee hunter build, because if it's not a melee build, what the heck else are you doing on Arc Hunter? Melee is pretty much the main thing that Arc Hunter does, so it's safe to say that these are staying. And now I did mention a little while ago that this video is not only based around the Liar's Handshake, but it's also based around one other thing. And that thing is going to be the Well of Ions. And now nobody pays any attention to any Arc Elemental Well mod other than Seeking Wells. And so now it's time to pay attention to another one. Nobody knows this thing exists. Everybody forgot about Well of Ions. It says that picking up an Arc Elemental Well causes your next melee to deal increased damage. And that damage increase is 30%. But note that it's not 30% of your base melee damage. It's going to stack multiplicatively on top of Liar's Handshake and on top of Combination Blow. So that's going to be 30% of your total damage, not of your base damage. And now let's take a look at the big picture here, all of our damage buffs. So we're getting 400% extra damage from Combination Blow times 3. We're getting 300% from Liar's Handshake, and we're getting 30% from Well of Ions. They don't add to each other, they multiply with each other in a way that results in a 1600% melee damage buff. That is ridiculous. But now if you happen to lose your Well of Ions buff, which tends to happen because it only triggers on the next melee hit, so sometimes you won't have it, it's still going to be a 1200% damage buff, give or take, which is still really good. And the crazy thing about this is to get your 1600% melee damage buff, all you have to do is punch 3 dudes. Is that really that hard? Just go around, punch, dodge, punch, and there you go. 1600% bonus damage. And so that brings us to our main weapon to pair with this build, which is going to be the Xeno Class 4, which by the way is still farmable from the Vanguard. You can get it from your rank up packages from Zavala, and the more you reset Zavala's rank, the more perk slots will drop on the weapon itself. So it's pretty easy to farm if you just wait until double Vanguard rank week and then just grind the heck out of it and grab like 40 rank up packages from Zavala. You're bound to get a few Xeno classes, and I really hope you can get one with auto loading holster and 1-2 punch, because this roll is perfect. And not to mention, it is also arc, which might be very important for arc 3.0. And now we all know how ridiculous 1-2 punch is. It's a 350% damage buff, and you've seen videos of people one-shotting bosses with Titan, with Worm God Caress and Syntheseps and stuff like that. But Bungie knows how broken 1-2 punch is with the Liar's Handshake, because, you know, back in the day there was a viral video of Glad solo one-face cheesing Riven with just a 1-2 punch shotgun in Liar's Handshake. It was quite ridiculous. So when you pair 1-2 punch with Liar's Handshake, it's not going to be a 350% damage buff, because Bungie knows. So it is going to be an 80% damage buff. That is how they work together, unfortunately, but 80% is still very solid, and it's still worth using 1-2 punch. But it doesn't end there. We're also pairing it with the tractor cannon to boop a boss or a major for a 30% debuff, then swapping over to our 1-2 punch shotgun, and then hitting him with that combination blow to proc our cross counter Liar's Handshake, hit him with that uncharged melee ability with the 1-2 punch. It does ridiculous burst damage, and then we can just repeat it again. So here is a clip against Carl from the Conflux Lost Sector on Nessus, and let's do it to him and see how he likes it. And I didn't even get to finish my combo in this clip because Carl just kind of fell over, and he has a ton of health, but we absolutely shredded him. And the thing about combination blow that makes this a very viable DPS combo is because, unlike any other melee ability in the game, combination blow does not expend its charge unless it specifically is the thing that picks up the kill. So if you're facing down a boss, you can just repeatedly combination blow, we'll call it combo for short, combo, proc cross counter, combo, cross counter, combo, cross counter. And combination blow's energy will never run out. It's just going to stay charged, repeatedly proccing that cross counter. So I'm going to demonstrate the combo I just mentioned here in this clip. I'm not going to use my weapons at all. I'm not going to use tractor cannon, no 1-2 punch shotgun. I'm just punching. Going to do combo, cross counter, combo, cross counter. And just like that, you can repeat that forever. Carl just falls over in 4 punches. So to put that insane DPS into perspective, we're going to compare it against a rocket launcher. This is the Palmyra B fully crafted god roll. This is the meta rocket launcher for the season, given people typically paired with Izanagi's Burden, but still, it's a rocket launcher. So let's see how much damage it does to Carl. So even with major spec, it took 4 total rockets to take out Carl, and not to mention that DPS was painfully slow. And when you compare it side by side with combination blow and Liar's Handshake simply just punching, it's quite embarrassing. And now you might be thinking that that is it for the build, video's over, right? Well, no, believe it or not, that was only half the build. It doesn't end there. So let's address the elephant in the room here. You might have noticed that I have 100 discipline, and that I'm using a judgment, and the reason I'm using that is because it has Demolitionist and Adrenaline Junkie, because this is also a grenade build. Because of the fact that we are constantly punching and dodging, punching and dodging, punching and dodging with this combo, as you've seen from the gameplay, how can we really abuse that? Well, there's a couple perks that we can put on our armor to do so. The first of which is going to be Impact Induction. It says that causing damage with your melee attack is going to reduce your grenade cooldown. And obviously we're getting a melee hit every single 2 seconds. And then we're also dodging every single 2 seconds. So when we do so, we are proccing double bomber on our class item, which is going to reduce our grenade cooldown. So I'm going to play some gameplay on the screen right here. I'm going to keep on throwing my nade behind me just to show you when I keep on doing so. It's only going to take 4 total dodges, just a few seconds to get our grenade back. And the cool thing about that is that arc bolt grenades don't hurt you. Most grenades in this game, when you throw it at your feet, it's going to do self damage. It might cause you to die. But arc bolt grenades don't do that. You can just toss them at your feet as you're running around meleeing enemies, and you're going to be dealing so much damage everywhere and taking out groups of ads. Arc bolt is good for taking down shielded enemies that you can't really punch that well. It just works out super well. You're throwing nades, punching things, dodging, throwing nades, punching things, dodging, constantly getting the health regen from combination blow and from Liar's Handshake. And then we are also running elemental ordnance on our cloak that's going to spawn an arc elemental well when we get a grenade kill. So when you get yourself into a situation, you're going to start the combat, you get into a new room, there's a new group of ads, you have no buffs. You can start off by tossing your arc bolt at some ads, picking up that elemental well to proc well of ions, and then start going on your melee spree. And that is how this build works. So finally, that does it for the build. I hope you enjoyed it, and I highly recommend giving it a try and getting it ready for when Arc 3.0 comes out if you are a Hunter main. So I know a lot of people have been requesting dim links for the builds that I make in videos, and I haven't figured out how to do that yet, so feel free to let me know in the comments down below how to actually do that. I will try to look it up and figure it out, and if I figured it out, you'll see the link in the description and maybe also in a pinned comment. But if you don't see it there, then assume that I didn't figure it out and let me know some instructions in the comments down below. So thank you so much for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, be sure to hit that like button and leave a comment. Those two actions really help the algorithm and the video's performance. And if you're new, consider subscribing. Feel free to leave your feedback and suggestions, and I will catch you in the next video. Peace out.